Your Excel sheets are lying to you. Not because the math is wrong, but because the context is fake. For this training, I've set a trap. I built a liar's ledger to see if AI could catch me. In fact, it didn't just find the $1,500 double payment, it even questioned my love for dogs, or even my lunch with Fred it called a suicide pact for my business. And today, I'm showing you how you can turn NotebookLM into a forensic interrogator. We're finding the $9,000 in waste your pivot tables just won't show you. It's going to be a great training. I cannot wait. So let's get brutal. Great to have you here. Excel is excellent at math, sorting, filtering, VBA, application development. But what about when it comes to finding data anomalies? Perhaps a company expense that's not really an expense and goes against company policy, or even a personal expense that's not a tax write-off. That is where AI can come in handy, and that is exactly what I'm going to share with you today, a groundbreaking way to actually analyze your data using brutal prompts with my brutal prompt library, NotebookLM, and a really cool few tricks that I'll be sharing with you. So we're going to get started right away. I do have this workbook available to you. It includes all the prompts that we're going to be using and includes sample data. So make sure you do click the link below and grab this. Whether you're on YouTube, it'll be in the download description links. And if you're on my website, just look for the download button and I'll get this sent right over to you. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take this brutal prompts along with some sample data, and we're going to feed it into NotebookLM, and it's going to find all the issues along with that. So let's get started. I also have a company policy. So for example, we have a sample company here, and we've got very specific policies on the expenses for employees. So we're going to find out if any of those expenses go beyond the company policy. So let's get those uploaded. First thing you need to do is make sure to get on NotebookLM. This is by notebooklm.google.com. That is the URL. It is from Google and it is a great resource. You should be able to use it for free and you would not need to upgrade. Once you are signed into Notebook, make sure you do create a new notebook. Once you do that, we're going to be ready to upload our data. And for our purposes here, we're going to be uploading something that looks like this in a CSV. This is my 2023 chaotic audit and includes transactions, notes, expenses, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and upload that along with the company policy. So I'm just going to take them from where I have. Here's the company policy and here is my chaotic. So I've got both of those selected. I'm just going to drag those right in here to the drop files. And what it's going to do, it's going to analyze both the CSV and company PDF policy. Once it's completed, you're going to see a check mark and we already have some information. We can go ahead and chat with it, but I'm going to focus on the reports feature, which is this one right here. We may have a look at some of the other features, but the reports is exactly what I want to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to click on it and I want a custom report. We want to be very specific, so we're going to give it a custom prompt. So we're looking for the create your own. Once I select this, I'm going to go into my workbook here and I'm going to go to the brutal prompt library and we're going to set the first one. Now this one is the blind interrogator. It's targeting business owners and freelancers and we're looking for the unbiased forensic interrogator. So that's it. So I'm going to copy this prompt right here and I'm simply going to paste it into that. That prompt, basically we're going to act as a senior forensic auditor. So we've been hired to conduct a blind interrogation of the provided financial data. I'm not going to read you the entire prompt, but you get the point. We're going to go back into our audit here and we're going to go in and paste this inside here. So we've got the entire prompt here and we're just going to click generate. And what that's going to do is going to generate a report. It'll take just a minute or less. And now that it's complete, we have the report of shame. Here it is. So let's take a look at that and we can read it here. We don't need to read the entire thing, but we have this forensic audit serves as a clinical post-mortem of the 2023 fiscal year, a period defined by staggering commitment to administrative lethargy and the systematic misappropriation of corporate funds. Whoops. So here we've given a really brutal, so we're not going to read the entire thing, but we have semantic objects. We see that the amounts, kitchen supplies and snacks were rejected. So the revenue is not generated by snacking standard. Not. So here we've got every single policy violation. We've got the transaction ID. We can export it to Word. So every single transaction that got rejected is here, and we can even export this to a table, and here it says why it's been rejected. The blatant nature of these rejection points towards a deeper malaise, the complete breakdown in administrative oversight that borders on criminal. Yikes. Yeah, it's brutal, all right, but this is exactly what companies need, or even for personal, you can do this. And the profit killer, it says exactly what's killed our profit. We can then copy this, we can put it into Word or any other document. Now, if we wanted to extract this into a table format, we could copy this here. But one of the great ways to do that is if I just want the specific table of individual transactions, I can do that actually with the data table. So if I click the edit here, and then I paste in a prompt that I have that says, please extract all the anomalies, violations, or potential issue transactions into a table, adding a new column with the explanation. So here we can get it just in a table, and we're going to see exactly how it does. And it's now ready, so we can take a look at it. And here we have just a table of all of that. And of course, we can easily bring this to a Google Sheet or anything we want simply by exporting to Sheets. And we have all of that in a sheet. So here, AI has now taken all of our transactions. It has actually created a full table and including the source documents of everything we need. Let's go ahead and expand this. So here we see we have a critical business risk here. We have the explanation and the risk exceeds. So every single notation, including the policy number violation, and we've done that in just a few minutes. So it's pretty impressive. We even have the original transaction ID. So very, very helpful on that, especially exporting to a table. We can also take the original result that we had from the report here inside this, and inside that we can simply copy that and bring it into a Word document. And so here is our report of shame for the 2023 forensic audit of Atlas Digital Solutions. I'm not going to read you the entire one, but if we take a look at the bottom of our detailed report, we do see the verdict that Atlas Digital Solutions is a masterclass in fiscal negligence and cautionary tale of how personal sloth destroys corporate potential. So it is brutal, but it is accurate, and that's exactly what we need in the financial world. Let's take a look at another sample. We've got this one with a bunch of personal transactions here. And what I want to do is I want to bring that into a brand new notebook and along with a brand new prompt. This time I want to focus on an IRS auditor with a grudge. So we want a brutally honest IRS auditor. So I'm going to copy this entire prompt and we're going to then bring a new notebook in. So let's grab a brand new notebook. I'm going to then upload all of that personal data, and that's going to be in my downloads. I have that available inside here. We're going to call that personal expenses. So I'm bringing that inside here. Once we have those, we are going to then be adding that prompt to a brand new report. And we see that we have the corporate and personal expenditure ledger. So we've got everything here in the detail. We're going to be adding the new prompt. So I'm going to select and create your own, which is what I want to do. I'm going to paste in that brutal IRS auditor prompt, which is here. And then I'm just going to click generate. And we're going to see exactly what types of personal expenses it can draw out and what it can summarize and detail from our personal expenses. Just a brief look at those so we can see before it actually audits it. So let's go ahead and go through that just a little bit. So while we're waiting for that, which is this one right here. So we have different expenses. We have notes, subscription for API. We have MacBook Pro purchase, 3 nights in Bangkok. Sounds familiar. Team lunch. Sounds very personal. Interesting. All right. So we've got that here. And we also have the tax category here. So we can know if we have or have not met our tax requirements for our audit. So let's go ahead and look back now. It should be completed by now. And it is. So we're going to pull this open and read it. So we don't need to read the whole thing, but we have a forensic eye, strategic free. So we can look at the table, disallowed deduction. So it's come up with 3 different deductions. Personal wellness is a lifestyle choice, not a depreciable business asset. Extremely helpful here. And of course, we have a summary. The patient is not just dying, it is already flatlined. Yep, that's brutal, all right. So we've got the 3 items that are disallowance, the penalty, immediate reclassification of all asset purchase. So this audit is closed. Prepare for step stature. Yikes. Okay. Well, let's pretend you didn't see that. All right, so you get a good idea. Now, what I wanted to do is one other thing. I wanted to go back into the original audit report that we did, and I want to create a slideshow to see exactly what we can get. So slide deck is right here. And what this will do is it'll take all of those financials that we have and put it into a really professional slide deck, even without an individual prompt. If I wanted an individual prompt, I would click the pencil. We can create detailed or presenter, and we can also add a prompt. Now we're just going with the default, and let's see what it comes up with. And now while we're waiting, let's just quickly go over what I'm sharing with you in this prompt library. You're going to get individual prompts. I've got 7 for you available, and I'll be adding more if I have more ideas. I want to really expand on this. In fact, I'm going to be expanding on this training on our Patreon platform. So make sure you do join our membership Patreon, where I'll be adding additional features and functionality and a brand new training video on this next week. I'll be expanding a lot on this prompt library. This is a great one for any type of finance because it digs in deep and finds the errors, the issues, the anomalies, and anything that is out of place. And that's really going to be helpful. And that's something that Excel just can't do. All right, so let's go back into our audit, and it is now completed. We can take a look at it. We can expand it here. So we have the 2023 fiscal compliance audit. We've got some baseline gross annual income, 72,000. The breaches and the risks clearly laid out. We also have all 5 policy breaches here. So those are all fails, so that's pretty clearly done. We also have a policy 3 breach, overhead danger zone, very good graph, and it's really very well laid out here. We also have the weekend steakhouse. So these are really impressive graphs that it was able to generate in just a few minutes here, outlining all of the personal prohibited. Expenses were high here on some steakhouse dinners. Looks like we should probably cancel this personal, so it's telling us willful negligence despite written acknowledgement of his personal nature. $89 of recurring corporate sponsorship of personal liability continued unchecked for 7 consecutive months. I'm very impressed with this. And we also have the total capitalized cost of the 2023 policy non-compliance. So it's actually added up all of our costs. And lastly, the last slideshow, the corrective action. We've got immediate remediation, all the tax reclassification, and the facility renegotiation. So I'm pretty impressed with this slideshow that it was able to generate in just a few minutes off both our data set and our company policy. So we've seen how NotebookLM with the correct prompt can really take apart our finances and act as a very, very brutal auditor, both inside the reports and even in a slideshow, and also extracted those specific transactions to a table very clearly along with the explanation and reasons. So that's the NotebookLM. I'm really impressed with that. It's improving. We can now actually also update. If there's any slideshows that you want to update, I want to bring this to your attention because it is new. So if we're taking a look at this, we can actually revise an individual. So if I want to revise this one, I simply just write the correction, and then I would just go ahead and generate the revised deck. So it will now allow us to make those corrections on the individual slides. Very impressive. Make sure you grab my brutal financial prompts, and you can use them whether it's for personal or professional. I hope you have enjoyed this training just as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Make sure you check out some of our really cool applications, including the AI tool pack, which puts AI features directly into your notebook, making your work a lot easier. That's the AI tool pack. I'll include the link down below. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.